you're satisfied and you're happy with mediocre nonsense.
Damn!
I have finally. Let's try that again. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your one and only host,
the Cosmic Jedi.
Welcome back to my channel.
It's here and I like it.
I have finally seen the Captain Marvel 2 movie. So let's discuss, shall we? I can see why people are panning the movie saying it's crap.
Damn!
It sucks.
Damn!
To those who enjoyed it, this is not for you. Anyone who enjoyed Captain Marvel 2 movie, this is not for you.
Damn!
You're all going to die down here.
Disney took the piss out of the people who paid money to see this.
Bullshit.
I feel this should have been released on their platform digitally. Straight to digital, no cinema release. I'm not going to be chronological with this story, and this will include spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't seen the Captain Marvel movie, the second one, and you want to see it, this is not the video for you. If you don't mind spoilers, then it might be minor or major spoiler. I'm going to do both, so just heads up. First off, the villain, Darben. I don't like her character at all. There was nothing compelling about her. They threw her in as some random, maybe Kree soldier when she witnessed Captain Marvel destroy the AI of their civilization. That too is a major problem in terms of storytelling. The decision to make Captain Marvel do that doesn't make any sense at all. This is someone who witnessed what Thanos did. Thanos' snap affected every planet in the known cosmos, let alone the unknown cosmos, meaning there are other parts of the cosmos that people don't even know exist yet. And Thanos' singular snapping affected everyone and every living thing, mushrooms, ants, insects on every planet. They even included dialogue in, I think, Endgame from her saying that Earth is not the only place who got hit by Thanos' snap. So she's having to help other planets recover and deal with the aftermath of what Thanos did. So someone who experienced that in the sense of witnessed the aftermath of what Thanos did, there's no way you're going to tell me she went to Kree homeland and destroyed the AI without any contingency plan. What the AI was doing is wrong. Who built the AI? Why was the AI built? Why did the AI become the way it is? How did the AI brainwash its people? Are the people grown? Are they grown in a pod where they're just fed lies? You can't just walk into a planet, right? I was supposed to do this in character level, but let me pause on that one. Let me pause on that one. Darben, like I said, my bad. I apologize. I should just talk to her first. I don't care for her character. Then she finds the bangle, right? The thing she's been looking for long, and she finds it. I personally don't know how the bangle and the staff work hand in hand. Maybe in the infinite universe of Marvel storytelling, from the comics to the cartoons and some audiobooks or whatever, they've discussed and educated the audience on how the armband and the staff work together. I don't know it, so I'm coming from that angle where the relationship between both of them doesn't make sense to me. How they can both synchronize and harmonize doesn't make sense to me. Darben is on this quest to find the second armband she found, the second companion to the armband. Who built this armband? We don't know. If there was a little background dialogue or flashback to say the people or person or beings that built the armbands also built the staff, then it would make sense why they work together. They're symbiotic. So Darben is on the hunt to find these armbands, and her plight is to, based on how Captain Marvel's dialogue was in the movie, she's going to all the different planets that Captain Marvel has visited and extracting resources from them for her planet, because her planet is dying, because the sun is dying, so it's affecting the atmosphere, the water, and everything else. There are no intelligent scientists on their planet to discuss the relationship between the AI, the planet, and the sun. When you introduce points like these, that is so, it feels like it's so heavy for someone, for the average mind to grasp. How do you teach the average mind that these three things are in unison? The planet, the sun, and the AI that runs the planet. Meaning, if you were to destroy this AI, everything on this planet would stop. The air, the water, how are we supposed to then swallow what you are then giving us in this movie to say, oh, this makes sense? Darben's plight and the planet thing doesn't make sense because they made her look like she wanted to save her people, but it didn't make sense using this nefarious a path to save your people. They have nicknames for Captain Marvel, the Destroyer or the Annihilator. But you yourself, Darben, you're running around to different planets that Captain Marvel has been on, so you're giving her the nickname of Annihilator or the Destroyer. But what are you doing? You're borrowing atmosphere and elements from different planets. There was one YouTuber I watched who asked the question that not many have asked. How do the elements across the universe work? How can an element, just because you have fire here on Earth and fire on Mars or another planet called Daros or Kokuros, how does the frequency of the fire on Earth cannot be the same frequency of the fire on Kokuros? It does.
Around me are familiar.
The fact that you have different rotations of different planets in our current solar system, just the rotation of a planet differs, let alone the size of a planet. Just that basic knowledge that some of us have. You can't then convince me that the fire on Earth, the frequency of the fire on Earth, or the heat level or the temperature level of the fire on Earth is the same as Kokuros. It does it. The texture of the water on Earth across the planet, polluted or not polluted, sea salt or not sea salt, cannot be the same texture, cannot be the same density, fluidity. When you establish that these four elements, water, air, fire, and earth, remain the same across the infinite cosmos, you have not depicted that. We shouldn't have to do homework on that. You're calling someone an invading force and a destroyer, and you are doing the exact same thing you are accusing this woman of, but you're doing it on the planet she's been on. You're not doing it on any random planet. You're going to a specific planet she calls home. The dumbest. What kind of being does this? A Kree soldier then all of a sudden wore the garments of Ronin's people, found the staff. They never discuss how she gets the staff. She finds the band. I mean, they show one guy talking about he wants to study the band more, but she's like, no, we don't have time. So you have time to go on trips and galactic journeys to go and find hidden bands. We don't have time to use the energy or convert the energy to try and jumpstart your sun, to try and fix your atmosphere.
Rubbish.
I'm surprised Brie Larson took this role. I'm surprised she took this role with such a stupid aspect of this character. And tomorrow they say Brie Larson is too stiff. She can't act. You're writing stupidity for this poor woman to act in.
You snotty little bastard.
What do you want her to do? How do you expect her to just put soul and fire into diddery nonsense? Dumb shit like this, man. She wasn't good in the first one, but now I'm looking at it thinking she was written poorly in both these movies. So like I said, Darben, crap villain. Next point, the armbands don't make any sense to me. I don't care who they belong to. I don't care whose grandma, whose grandpa, whose auntie and uncle made them or built them. You need to express the connectivity these ancient relics seem to have. Thanos, for example, is a great point when it comes to intelligence of how to combine elements together. When he went to the dwarves to build this gauntlet, I've always thought to myself and wondered, aside from him, did anyone else have the same idea like him? Not to wield the gauntlet to snap half of existence across the cosmos, but to combine these 6 stones into one gauntlet, an armband or a crown or a chest plate or a belt, because it feels genius. Even in his madness and his hubris, he's like, how do I can't hold these stones individually. You know what? A glove just makes sense. And then when he went to the dwarves, I wonder if the dwarves also had that thought. It shows you how warped Thanos' mind is or was. Because even the dwarves who built the gauntlet, they've been building weapons for how many eons and centuries for whatever different planets. I don't think they're only building it specifically and uniquely for the Asgardians. But they know weapons well. That's their skill trait. But they never told the story that not once in their existences did any dwarf or dwarfette think to themselves, there's a bunch of infinity stones out there. Why don't we find them, will them together and make a gauntlet? So the fact that they could even make it, it shows this weird, like a mad scientist thing, the connection between Thanos and the dwarves. Meaning they're so skilled that the idea that he had in his head, they could make it a reality. That's how powerful these guys are. He had the idea and thought, I want to put all these 6 stones on one item, a gauntlet. Gave them the idea. They saw it and then obviously by force made it a reality. So in that world, that makes sense enough to say it was an idea of Thanos based on the existing Infinity Stones. And because he couldn't physically wield each one of them long enough to do what he needed to do, what is the best way to wield all 6 of them? Again, could have been a bracelet or rings, but the gauntlet just makes sense. So doing that and then going to the best people he could go to, knowing that if he did not end them, they could or would or might undo them or undo what he did, what they did with the gauntlet. He ended everyone except that last one and then took away his hands because he knows once I do this thing, I must make sure no one else can undo it. That is someone who's forward thinking. And then you introduce Darben, who's bringing a staff and rod where I don't know where the frick she got it from. And then an armband. This isn't a villain that you've been cooking up for a while. This was like, it's a person who just got so angry and then, oh, let me find this band. And then why is it that this armband is so powerful that its combined strength with the staff is able to open jump points? And the jump points depiction was so jarring. Why didn't they just make it a tear or a porthole in space? Because when it was ripping, it just sounded metallic and robotic. I couldn't understand why it was sound. I can't even talk straight. I'm so pissed. This movie, goddamn.
All around me are familiar.
If your characters aren't making sense, your character decisions aren't making sense. When you remove certain aspects of a story and your movie can't stand on its own, it is not a movie. It is no longer a story. Captain Marvel should not have been written in a way where someone with all that power, like Thanos, goes to a planet and then destroys their AI because they have the power to do so, because the AI was doing brainwashing. We know as the viewers, how do you get that across to the people that live on this planet? You didn't know destroying the AI would affect the atmosphere. That doesn't make any sense. Somebody who's going to destroy this thing, you have to find out how deep rooted this thing goes, metaphorically and literally. Before you put your hand into the face of this AI thing, how deep are your roots, by the way? How connected are you? Hopefully you're not connected to any hospitals. You're not connected to the traffic lights. You're not connected to pregnant women or pregnant Cree people. You're not connected to a machine what's a machine that keeps people on life? I can't remember. Life, when people are on this, you know what I mean? My brain isn't clicking right now. You don't know if it's connected to that. You don't know right now if someone is in the hospital, they're in the surgery room, and by you destroying this AI, you cut all the electricity and all the power. You don't know if this thing is their main source of energy. You just boom, destroy it and you piss off. What? You couldn't find no other galactic federation to come together and say, yo, you're Cree people. They're causing disorder on everyone's planet. You're carrying war everywhere. You're doing harm to the people. If you're so passionate about destroying or putting a stop to this AI, reveal the truth. Is the AI a self-sentient thing? Is it doing these things out of nefarious reasons only, unbeknownst to the people? Find a way to record a conversation with the AI. I'm going to tell the people the truth, have the AI slip up, and then reveal that truth to the people.
Nice.
Next point on my list, man. I think I've already spoken about this. The atmosphere being taken from the planets, they make sense. I can't go from Pluto and open a jump point with my rings and my armband and my staff and then suck the water from Pluto, for example, and then put it on Earth because my planet doesn't have water. How is that water going to affect the sea life? How is that water going to synchronize itself with my rotation, the gravitational pull of my planet, the day cycle and night cycle of my planet? Do we have a moon on my planet? I thought the moon affects the water. The distance of the moon from my planet is different from the distance of the moon of your planet. Your planet is twice the size of my moon. I have 64 hours in my day cycle. For example, you have 5 hours in your day cycle. So are you even going to planets that have the similar? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? You're trying to make this make sense. And I'm watching this thing thinking, you're not trying to convince me this is sensible. This cannot be sensible. I said it earlier on that the same frequency of fire on your planet is not going to be the same as Earth. And you want to convince me that you are sucking water from one planet through a jump point or jump hole or jump window into your, and you see what I'm saying? She thought of this. She took time to think of this. If I can open a jump point with my staff and this armband, how they work together, you didn't explain. You did not explain. She took time to think of this, and then she rallied all the other people. Like I said, every scientist, every engineer, every alchemist, any other planetary federation that they might be connected to didn't come to help. They didn't put their heads together and say, what happened to the AI? It got destroyed. Let's find the original maker. Let's find the original codex. Let's try and rebuild the AI. This whole movie is... Some people were very kind when they were doing the review. Some people said, I don't know how that atmosphere thing works. What do you mean you don't know how it works? What does that mean? Break it down. Talk about it. You want to convince me that you opened a window to suck water from one planet to another planet and it works? Fuck off. Fuck off well. You rude, insulting people. For fuck's sakes, fuck off, man.
Shoot him!
The single planet thing, very bad gimmick, because that can get annoying real quick. Just like the screaming goats in Thunder, in Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm going to do a nice breakdown of that one as well. I thought I was going to make this review like 20 minutes, but it looks like it's going to be an hour long.
Come on.
Their powers switching between each other, it didn't work. There was one scene where they all tried to tag team Darben, and Darben is not a superhuman being. She's only strong because of this armband and maybe the staff. We'll get there eventually. Captain Monica's powers feel like they're all over the place. I wish they had given her more time to explore her powers because we got to see Captain Marvel's powers in the first movie. We got to see Miss Marvel's powers on her show. So Monica Rambeau, I feel she's the only one who we haven't seen the extent and control and expression of her powers. Them happening by mistake out of random. It's almost like her powers are self-sentient, especially in the first time they revealed her in WandaVision. That one just felt like, yo, bullets are coming at me. Oh my God, if I die, then her instincts kick in and the powers take over. She doesn't actualize her powers with will. In this one, sometimes she does. When she phases through stuff, she's actualizing it a bit. There's sometimes where she was fighting some of the Kree people and she was freaked out, but then the weapon would phase through. So that didn't look like she was controlling the phasing. Some points she did. Some points she was like, yeah, I'm getting used to this. The flying part, black girl magic, gimmick. You're just throwing stuff. You're not letting it marinate well and then bloom. You're not letting it be organic. Next point. I already spoken about the tears in space. I didn't like that. The jump points and the cracking sound. I thought at one point I thought that was like a spaceship that was cloaked. Then I realized they were all saying, oh, it's a tear in space and time. So there wasn't a clear visual representation of this, or there's another reality bleeding into ours. I feel Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness did that much better. You just do a cut and you open a window, or even what's her name, America Chavez's power when she punches a hole in space and time. That looked more creative. This one where you're making the tear sound metallic, like there's a metal thing holding the fabric of space and time together, didn't make sense. It just felt weird. Just have it be a tear. That's it. Then to be the one who had to go through and fly through and then close it from the other side, it just made it worse. And you're using beams to close a tear that sounded metallic. I just have someone cut open a window and have someone seal it. Now the flirking, just because they come from the comics doesn't mean we, the people who don't read the comics, who've never read the comics, will understand what they are. Just a little dialogue goes a long way. How are these creatures able to just swallow a whole couch and a car and still remain that size? Where do all these things go when they swallow things? Now I'm questioning their anatomy and their physiology. What is the point of a flurking? Are they some interdimensional creatures that happen to look like cats? Are they the first beings of cat-like creatures before cats came into existence on Earth? Are these like cat gods? When they swallow things, do they keep it in a small pocket dimension in space and time where the fluids in there, wherever they swallow this thing, doesn't digest? If so, how do they eat? They don't need to eat food? Everything has a way to survive and exist and live. What is the flurkin's role? How does a flurkin eat food? But what the hell do I know? What the hell do I look like Kevin Feige? Do I run a whole billion trillion kalulu company? No, so it's easy for me to come on YouTube and complain and whoolai, hey, this and that. Why don't you write your own story? Why don't you build your own Marvel? Why don't you build your own Disney? That's all you people know. That's all you people know. No ambition, no desire, no balls to come out and say this is bullshit, this is rubbish, rearrange this, retell this. You're satisfied and you're happy with mediocre nonsense, insult, lies to your face, lies to your brain, lies to your imagination. You're satisfied with that. And just because you're satisfied with that doesn't mean we have to be satisfied with you. The fact that there's so many unique stories and movies out there shows that there are other people who want to tell great stories, exciting stories, believable stories, beautiful stories, emotional stories that people can experience and enjoy. And that is a testament to creativity. This is an insult to creativity. So when people like myself who come on camera and express our dismay, we have every reason to. You have a reason to like the movie, you have a reason to dislike the movie, and we'll give our reasons why. So you stay there with your little satisfied selves and enjoy the mediocre nonsense consistently. Storytelling is just taking a nosedive these days when it comes to certain things. Not everything, thankfully. I'm so glad that AI is come out of nowhere very soon. Very soon. All this, why don't you make your own movie? Best believe people will be doing it very soon, especially with the rise of AI. There'll be some epic stories that Netflix will be begging people, can we have some of your pie, please? It's not only is it coming, it is here. The next level now is people creating their own AI. It is here because there are so many beautiful, gorgeous stories that people want to tell right now. People who have sat on stories since they were children and then now they're grown adults. People who have sat on ideas, now they're grown adults. They want to express it, especially when it's marinated for so long. They've had anger, sadness. They've gone to different studios to be hired and they've been rejected. They turn their ideas. Since I can't make a movie or a cartoon I'll turn it into an audiobook, into a comic, into a little mini animation, into little shorts on Netflix or on Disney Plus. If you're creative, you're very good at telling stories, you're very good at drawing, you're very good at writing, express yourself. Find a way to tell your own story without having to wait for a major studio or other people to hire you so they don't piss on you. Companies who have so much money who can tell crap stories and put it out into the atmosphere and say, yeah, go to the cinema and watch this with your friends and your husbands and your wives. They can afford to do that. Find a way to tell great stories in the different mediums you can use right now. These people don't care. All they care about is profit. That's their thing. Money, 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 money. It's hilarious how you want money, but you don't want to create for money. Since that's your God and that's the deity and spirit you worship, fine. You worship money and that's the God and goddess you worship. You want it so much, but money is also a concept that was created. You don't want to use the honoring energy and concept of creation to create good stories so that you get this money that you are so thirsty for, but you want people to give you money without you creating good stuff for people to give you money for. That is a beautiful, beautiful level of stupidity. On to my next point. I've already spoken about the flirkin. I don't understand the anatomy. I don't get what they're doing. How long they can hold a thing for that they've swallowed. When they swallow a thing, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a day, 2 days, a year, 6 years? What are the exact times? If they swallow a tree, does the tree affect their gut so much that they have to spit it out in 2 minutes? If they swallow metal, what kind of metal? Titanium, steel, aluminium. You have to explain your creatures to an extent, especially when you feature them heavily in this movie. If you just threw it once or twice in the movie and it disappeared, I don't give a crap. It just happened to be there and it swallowed some soldiers. Done. But you swallowed human beings to save them. You need to explain how that works. Where have the human beings gone in that they can't die? How many stomachs does a flurkin have? So that means any living organism can survive in one of these stomachs? Be specific. And if they've explained it, at least retouch on the point in this movie. Because I was like, wait, what? You're going to use a flurkin to swallow who? All of them to save them? A whole Saber space station doesn't have the designated pods for the designated occupants of the space station. That doesn't make any sense. There are 50 people working on this space station. Best believe I will not have 50 pods. I will have 150 pods in case we are attacked and whoever is attacking us might go for the pods. And plus, I wouldn't have anyone attack my space station. And just like me, if I was attacking someone, I'm going for your pods. I don't want you to be evacuating while I'm attacking. I want you guys to be dead. So I'm going for your escape routes, escape pods. Once I've demobilized that, I'm coming on board and I'm murking every last one of you. So if I own this space station and I was Nick Fury, there'll be 150 escape pods, maybe 200 for people who work there who are 50 in total. So we don't have enough pods. That did not make any sense. In fact, that didn't make Nick Fury sense. This is the guy whose secrets have secrets, whose backup plans have backup plans, who have backup plans, who have backup plans. But again, it's Marvel, man. It's their story, it's their character. They can do whatever they flip mode wants to do with it. All I'm just doing is yappa, 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 yappa. Shut it, please. There was a scene where she threatened Monica and Captain Marvel that if they move, I'll crush the little girl. What's her name? Miss Marvel. She had the hammer on her head. In fact, let me double back a bit. When they were fighting this girl, they each were throwing blows to Darben's face. If I'm fighting someone and there's 3 of us fighting one person and we're not making a dent in this person, my brain will say, first of all, this woman or female is not super powered. She's only charged up by this armband. I would most importantly avoid shooting my laser beams or proton blasts at her face. Most importantly, at her arm where she can do this and block. She did this so many times. I thought they would change tactics. Why do you keep blowing a super fireball at her? She kept. I'm like, yo, are y'all blind? You are shooting this beam at her face. Go for her knees, her legs, her crotch even. Go for her freaking stomach. Do you want to stop this girl or not? She's ripping other planets apart by destroying their ecosystem. I'm going for her crotch. Your story doesn't make sense. If 3 people are fighting one being who is not a super meta being, but only powerful because of this hammer and her wristband, the first thing that comes to mind, I'm going straight for that hammer. Trying to take off the armband like they're trying to take off Thanos' gauntlet didn't make sense. You think I'm going to let you come close to me, take off this armband? I'll be bitch slapping each and every one of you one by one. But it was one armband. So if I was Miss Marvel, I will do my best to stay away from this chick. Now, do you want to subdue or do you want to kill? You can win her by going for the gut. I don't care how superpowered you are, you still need breath to breathe. So you give her a good blow in her belly. She's going to drop that hammer real quick. Dismantle the freaking hammer. Not one of them once took that thing off her and attempted to break it. There was one pivotal scene where they were each fighting her, which didn't look believable at all, because each time they were doing all different combos, like they were waiting for each other to attack, just because if they misuse their powers out of synchronicity, then they would each swap places. Even that story element to say they're intertwined now because of their power. Oh my God. I don't want to waste my breath saying there are other ways you could rewrite that, because they are. And anyone who wants to come on my page and say, oh, you always say the other ways. Yes. Every good movie that we like so far, there are other ways to write it to be a shit movie. And every shit movie that exists so far, there are other ways to write it to make it a good movie. There are other ways.
Daddy, chill.
So you could have written this whole 3-character story in this movie in a different way, where it's palatable and enjoyable to see Kamala Khan on screen, Miss Marvel, or whatever, Captain Marvel, and then Captain Proton, Neutron, Electron. I can't remember her name, whatever. And I didn't like Kamala Khan. People said she was the best, or she was one of the best parts of this movie. This gushing over Nick Fury was uncomfortable for me. Hiya. What the highly uncomfortable, especially with this day and age where there's underage nonsense going on. It's just there's certain things that it's like you don't have to focus on it. You don't have to just tell us a story. And then there was a fight scene where Kamala Khan was fighting some people. I'm like, because she's a child, but this is a fight between someone who wants to destroy planets and doesn't care about the people on the planets, who's now become the villain she's calling Captain Marvel as well. But because she's saving her planet, just like Thanos was saving his planet or saving all the planets across the cosmos, she feels what she's doing is proper, it's correct, it makes sense. How does it? So now, when they were doing this 3-way fight against this chick, once or twice there were some leg sweeps, uppercuts and whatnot where they took her by surprise, maybe twice or 3 times. But majority of the times is being blasted to the face. And then Darben is like this. I'm like, yo, please stop doing that. You can't fight someone who's blocked your move twice in your face. Go for her belly, go for her knee, kick, punch. Chokehold this mother alpha, because what she's doing is dangerous. It is damaging. She's killing people. She's low-key genociding people indirectly. That part didn't make sense to me, where they were fighting Darben. Then this part where Captain Marvel pushed against the wall and then her hammer dropped right next to Darben, close enough for Darben to touch it. And I was thinking, break this hammer. Captain Monica then suggests, why doesn't Captain Marvel fly into the sun to rejuvenate the sun? She's looking at her like, wait, what? I can do that? I've never done that before. It took someone from Earth to create the solution for your planet. She's never been on the Kree planet before. She doesn't know how the sun operates on your planet, but she knew Captain Marvel was the right energy source to do that. They didn't even say that they tried multiple ways to rejuvenate the sun, but they couldn't. Maybe they did and I missed the dialogue, but at least show that someone wanted to, or people were trying different ways. There was no backup archive of the AI. There was no schematics. There's some people that when they build civilizations, they always have blueprints stashed away, and whatever material they use, they have pieces of these materials in archives, just in case something happens to that newly built thing. They can always go back to the old school way of doing it. That's how every smart civilization progresses. You could, unless the AI was brought in from outside and it wasn't something that the Kree created themselves, then that makes sense. You have no clue how to turn. It's like someone who buys you a new fridge or new tech or gadget that you know nothing of. There's no manual. If it breaks down, you can't fix it because you didn't build it, you didn't buy it, and there's no manual. But an AI without no manual, no backup, no manuscript, no hidden memory stick, nothing to help guide the people in case we get attacked and our AI is the first thing that is hit by outsiders or invading forces. Here's a way to reboot the AI. Here's a way to rebuild the AI. Here's a way to look after your planet. And then whoever put the AI there, why is it so ingrained into the system that something happens to it and it's affected the sun? See what I'm saying? The intelligence level is so low. I can never build a civilization as a higher level being and incorporate everything it needs to exist, to live and to thrive inside a machine or an AI. Because if people get wind of that and they want to cripple these people, that is the best way I don't even need to throw bombs, nuclear weapons at you. I'm just going for your AI and you're finished. And if you're saying this is the best way to protect the AI from being stolen because there's no schematics, that doesn't make any sense. Intelligent people, when it comes to civilization building, will always keep backups of everything just in case, especially a planet who's creating armies and soldiers to go and cause wars on other planets. Of course, you're going to keep a backup. So that nonsense didn't make sense to me. Then Darben, after threatening Captain Marvel, she then asked Kamala Khan to remove she didn't even ask her to remove the band. Kamala Khan then puts her hand up, and then Darben takes this. She wasn't incapacitated in the way where she was paralyzed, where Darben then took the armband off. There were 2, if not 3 instances that Darben could have been ended. First, destroy the hammer. They didn't do that. Find a way to neutralize the wristband. They didn't do anything in terms of finding a way technologically or creatively. They just tried to take it off. And I've never seen an armband so powerful that they couldn't open the clasp or the locks. Whereas Kamala Khan raised her hand, Darben just pulled it off. Pulls it off her wrist. Whereas when this lady wore it, they clamped it together on her wrist. So I'm just confused, man. If Kamala Khan was paralyzed to the extent that Darben had this hammer pressed against her head, paralyzing her, and then taking the armband off, I don't care how tight you're holding your hammer. Your guard is down. This thing is paralyzing Kamala Khan. You should have 2 people. And they weren't deliberate about putting a stop to this woman, because Mrs. Monica, since she can phase through objects, all you have to do is put your hand in her head. Movie done. Game over.
Nice.
If Monica was really about that life, put her hand, phase through her body like Vision, and you're done.
Fatality.
Phase through the hammer and destroy. They didn't use their powers creatively. I watched other people review the movie. Oh, I like the way they were switching their powers. It was so creative. No, you guys, yeah, you are easily pleased. Easily pleased. Must be nice. Must be nice. Me, I watched the thing thinking, nope. There's one person who's OP for sure. Captain Marvel is OP because it's blow for blow. And again, you're fighting someone who's not superhuman. So you haven't told me her power level, how strong she is compared to Captain Marvel. And it's clear that it's the armband making her strong. So get this chick who can phase through stuff, put her hand in the head of this gal. You're finished because you're a threat at this point. You've gone to multiple planets and disrupted their resources. You're just taking one resource each. It's a kindness I'm doing for you. You're genociding a planet because yours is dying. And I'm not even going to rephrase that. I'm not going to repeat that story because even that whole thing doesn't make sense. So you have 2 choices. At least have the conversation between Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and then Monica. What do we want to do with her? Are we locking her up? Are we having a discussion with the scientists to try and fix their planet? Even if it's the urgency of, what if we restart their sun? We don't have time. Wait, we can do that? How about that discussion?
Rubbish.
You just took Monica to just out of nowhere be like, we can jumpstart her son. Why didn't you have? Oh my God. She alone could have stopped that fight instantly. All I need to do is phase through you, put you in the ground and leave you stuck there until you time out. She was the best chance against that lady in that fight. The best chance. And they didn't utilize her powers well. And then you want to go to the cinema and then be excited for these movies. The whole thing doesn't make sense.
I don't go feel take your insult. Rubbish.
And then you want us to get excited for the X-Men. After what you've done to the Disney Plus shows, Loki season 1 and 2, WandaVision, and Hawkeye, and then Miss Marvel, and then this movie, you want us to be excited for the X-Men addition into your world. I don't care for Ant-Man. I don't care for Kang. I don't care for none of these characters. You force them in our faces. You rush them. We don't know their power level stats anymore. People are just coming out here with powers out of nowhere, fighting Captain Marvel blow for blow. That means that the way we saw Captain Marvel fight Thanos in Endgame, based on Thanos' physiology and his gene pool, because he's a Titan, so they're built for battle. Some of them, if not most of them. He's strong. He's someone who's been fighting for a long time. So Titan or not, he's been at war for a while. He's not Thanos by mistake. He's become who he is for a reason. When he goes to different planets, he doesn't just send his minions. He goes into battle with them. That is a general. You could say that's a warlord. That is a warlord. He fighting Captain Marvel won't just be, she punched him in the face and it hurt. It's going to be a tough fight because I do this daily. You just happen to have powers. Me, with or without powers, I will break your spine. Look what he did to Hulk. And Hulk didn't have no cosmic blast of radiation into his face from an Infinity Stone. So now when you have Captain Marvel fighting Darben, I'm asking questions. Who is now stronger? Thanos headbutted her and she didn't shift, but Darben punched her in the gut and she flew away. So now I'm questioning, is that wristband more powerful than the gauntlet? Is that wristband more powerful than the Infinity Stones? Is that wristband more powerful than Captain Marvel? Who built these bangles together? And then was it supposed to be wielded by like twinsies or something? Darben knew about the bangles so much so that there wasn't enough historical archives on any other planet where she got her resources from? Did she get it from the AI? Because the AI is dead. So where did she get her spread scattered knowledge about the band that there was no hidden information saying do not wear these armbands together on one being if you are not a superhuman being? Because Kamala Khan wore it. I can't remember the story whether it's a grandmother who made it or a grandpa who made it. I don't care. Just make things make sense. Whether it's her uncle, whether it's her boyfriend, whether it's her past life lover, whether it's her past life grandma, I don't care. I don't understand how Dar-Benn was so lustful after the second armband and there was no warning sign from anyone, even herself, or some ancient person who she went to. Beware of wearing both armbands together. You must be of royal blood to wield the power of the armbands together. Nothing was said. She just put it on and then did the thing and she just disintegrated and died. What a lackluster ending that is. Pointless. It makes her whole plight pointless. Then Captain Marvel flies back to her planet, restarts the sun. Pointless. What a pointless experience you put us through. There are planets that are no longer habitable because of this Dar-Benn chick. She then gets disintegrated by her own lust for these armbands, which there was no menu for. There was no description. There was no inscription. There was no warning to say you cannot wield both bands together. Like I said earlier on, how the armband and the hammer work is not explained. I'm done. And if I've missed out anything, I don't give a shit. That's my review of this shit movie.
Damn, son.
I didn't want to watch it. I've watched it. And thankfully, I can see for myself why it's so bad. Some people were very, very kind. And I can see why some people even chose not to say certain things because they didn't mind certain stupid things. But this movie is atrocious. Everything in this movie is useless. Everything. There's some other points I didn't touch on that I don't feel I need to touch on. I almost want you guys to go and see it so you see what I'm talking about. I feel definitely because I'm getting older. And also my desire for great storytelling, immaculate storytelling, intelligent storytelling, powerful storytelling. And yeah, for you, why don't you do it on your own? Why don't you do your own version? Yeah, we are. I am. Because of these things we're seeing, we're learning from these things and learning what to do and what not to do when it's our turn. So yes, to answer your, why don't you do it on your own? Why don't you do, we are. There are more of us out there who are already doing it, who've been doing it. We'll let you know we're out here. Don't worry. We'll let you know. Anyway, that's me done. A very long review, an hour, 11 minutes on my timer. But as per usual, by the time I'm done editing this thing, it'll be less. Ladies and gentlemen, which one of you has watched this Captain Marvel movie? Let me know which one of you is going to watch it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Let's try that again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your presence. That is my Captain Marvel 2 movie review. A crap fest. I have been your one and only host,
The Cosmic Jedi.
Signing out.